I think that the inventors, creators, and it's me, it's Mark, it's Kevin Systerman, Instagram, it's all of these people, understood this consciously, and we did it anyway.
If you're sitting at dinner with your friends and you're texting somebody who's not there, that's a problem. That's an addiction.
It probably interferes with productivity in weird ways. God only knows what it's doing to our children's brains.
Have you ever stopped and reflected on how with time, social media has slowly changed the way you think or how you react to certain situations in your life or how you even perceive the world to be? There may be a big possibility of it. There may be a big possibility that our brain and thinking ability is not working as efficient as it should be and we are not even aware of it. Yes, social media has its own advantages and I'm not ignoring it. But it is equally important to understand how it is also becoming a downhill path for us. And we can only avoid it when we are aware of it. So let's understand how social media companies are hijacking our minds and it's become one of the most powerful things in the world today. Most powerful, but how, you ask?
But at the end of the day, a business model that preys on human attention means that we are worth more as human beings and as citizens of this country when we are addicted, outraged, polarized, narcissistic, and disinformed, because that means that the business model was successful at steering our attention using automation.
Any individual or organization that holds the vast majority of attention of human population today has more power than any other institution in the world. This takes us to the value of data. The more time you spend on an app or site, the more ads will be shown to you, hence the company generating more revenue, and the more data they can take of yours to improve their future services or products, or in some cases to even sell the data to some billion-dollar companies. This report shows that there are over 4,000 data brokering companies worldwide. Axiom, one of the largest, has 23,000 servers collecting and analyzing consumer data for 500 million consumers worldwide, and up to 3,000 data points per person, and that's just one company. Yes, this is the economy we are living in. The worth of your attention and data is more than anything else today. As it is said, if you are not paying for it, you are the product. So this leads to a question. To what extent are these companies willing to do to keep us hooked on their products? Let's find it out.
If the thought process that went into building these applications, Facebook being the first of them to really understand it, that thought process was all about how do we consume as much of your time and conscious attention as possible. And that means that we need to sort of give you a little dopamine hit every once in a while because someone liked or commented on a photo or a post or whatever. And that's going to get you to contribute more content, and that's going to get you, more likes and comments. I mean, it's a social validation feedback loop that it's like it's exactly the kind of thing that a hacker like myself would come up with, because you're exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology.
Have you ever thought why you waste hours and hours on your smartphone even after knowing that you should be doing something more important than this? It's not you who's at the fault, it's your brain chemical called dopamine which makes you do these things by going against your own will. It is not a toxic thing, rather it's important for our survival. But it can become toxic when we don't understand how it works, especially when it is the biggest weapon in today's economy. How, you ask? As we discussed before, the most powerful tool today is to keep your attention hooked, and dopamine plays a crucial role in it. Okay, let me explain how. Do you get a feeling of excitement every time you get a notification or are about to see a new post or the likes or comments on your own post? This is the time dopamine is being released in your brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter which is also known as pleasure chemical. It is released when your brain is expecting a reward from an activity. Whenever you do something exciting, useful or useless, this hormone will get secreted. And the more you do that activity, the more novelty it needs. Means now it won't be satisfied from what it has become habitual of. And then it becomes an unending illusion of satisfying this neurotransmitter. This has become an easy task with how the design, colors and algorithm of these apps has been structured. It's a constant flood of novelty with new posts. In his book Hooked, Nir Eyal mentioned the hook model, which companies uses to hook their customers on their products to form the habit and routine of consuming it.
Your behaviors, you don't realize it, but you are being programmed. It was unintentional.
These days, majority of our life is on internet, from our job profiles to our portfolios to our social networks. Now our character or personality is judged by the numbers of likes and followers on our profiles rather than what we are in real life. With this, it becomes important to differentiate between our real and virtual life and not get fooled by how we see others online or how they perceive us. We are well aware that the life we see of others online are only the happy moments which are clicked intentionally. Same goes with the vlogs. These days people are trying to copy the lifestyle of their favorite vloggers, but they are just few recorded moments from the 24 hours of their day. Same is on Instagram. Everyone is just showing the good happy moments of their life. I'm not saying that you should always be sad in your posts, but comparing your own life with someone's few clicked moments is not a good idea for your mental health. The truth is, if you will meet these people in real life or will spend some time with them, you may find that they or their life is no different from you. No one's life is constantly filled with makeups and all jokes. Everyone has their own struggles. You can't compare your entire 24 hours with someone's few clicked or recorded moments. Now when it comes to teenagers, they can be more influenced by this because they have their majority years grown up in the presence of their online persona. The formative years where their identity is being shaped, it is a big possibility that they perceive the value of their own and others' virtual life more than the reality itself. Surveys show that 90% of teens ages 13 to 17 have used social media, and 51% report visiting a social media site at least daily. And on average, teens are online almost 9 hours a day, not including time for homework. The age where their communication skills or physical, mental, emotional, social or intellectual development should happen, they are busy spending their time building a fake life which is equivalent to a castle on the sand. Yes, I don't deny that building a career on internet is important for them, but how many of them are actually doing it? How many of them are seriously trying to become an online gamer, content creator or influencer or learning any skill? Majority of the teens are just consuming insensible content most of their time or comparing themselves with people of their age who are also building a fake life of their own on social media. And the moment they get into the real world, they find themselves without any knowledge, skill, experience or any progress. When they sit with a group of people, none of their likes or followers matters until they are a big influencer. Here we can see a major identity and behavior shift where they are dealing with comparisons and insecurities at an age where they should be creating or building something meaningful. This begs a question. How many great inventions or arts are we missing on right now just because people are mindlessly watching some random people do some dumb things? As Blaise Pascal said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Boredom is something which we have always seen something as bad, but recent researches show that it is important for a meaningful and successful life. How many of your amazing ideas came when you were walking alone or showering and were not in influence of any form of stimulation? Boredom gives you the time and focus to reflect on your life. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you chasing? And in today's world, it has become much more easier to run away from boredom towards social media apps. In a research, it has been shown that boredom leads to creative ideas and creativity is something which is rewarded the most in any industry. Dr. Misha Myers is a senior lecturer of creative arts at Deakin University points out, to find an original expression, you need to develop a deep relationship with yourself, and to have that relationship with yourself, you need alone time or solitude. If you see, we always complain about distractions, that social media is distracting us, but my own experience has been that it's we who are distracting ourselves from real life problems. Yes, this may sound contradictory to everything I have said until now, but from this video my intention is not that we put all the blame on social media, rather understand it and then notice what are we running away from in our life. It is a different thing if you are using these apps at a decided time after you have finished your work, but majority of the time we use these apps to escape from our life's problems or just sitting with our own thoughts. If we are not facing the truth our life is showing us, how are we going to move forward? It's not that people have not been running away from the problems in history, but they didn't have the ways to escape as much as we have. This has also affected our ability to focus for long periods of time on a task, as the average attention span of humans has decreased from 12 seconds to 8 seconds, as constant context switching is happening on social media apps, because of which people are not being able to do any meaningful work. To finish any meaningful work, you have to face the boredom and get through it. As Pablo Picasso said, without great solitude, no serious work is possible. Have you ever thought that the content you consume on internet, which is actually an opinion of someone else, affects your own thinking and opinions because you don't think critically about it as you see the big numbers on that influencer's profile? This thing can make you look things from the wrong perspective, especially on the sensitive subjects. This is called the herd mentality. Herd mentality is a strong force which overrides logic, questioning, debate, reasoning and common sense. These days it has become a hard task to stop and reflect on what we are consuming, the opinions we are conforming on. Does it overpower our own opinions on that subject? There is nothing wrong with changing our opinions on a subject by listening someone else's perspective on it, but doing that without thinking critically is where things go wrong. This is exactly how big cults are formed. Especially the kids are more susceptible to this mentality, and this kills their ability to think critically. And a society which can't think for itself, how will it solve the problem around it for the future? After understanding how the whole system works, who is profiting from it, and ultimately how we are only responsible for what we consume, it's time to look for some ways by which you can use it for your own advantage and avoid the negatives. This is the best era we are living in the history. No generation had the opportunities we have because of the internet, but it has its positives and negatives. The skills we can learn here to showing our work to everyone, share our opinions, make good connections. So understanding the whole system is very important for us to make the best use of technology.
If you're sitting at dinner with your friends and you're texting somebody who's not there, that's a problem. That's an addiction. If you're sitting in a meeting with people you're supposed to be listening to and speaking, and you put your phone on the table, face up or face down, I don't care, that sends a subconscious message to the room that you're just not that important to me right now, right? That's what happens. And the fact that you cannot put it away is because you are addicted, right? If you wake up and you check your phone before you say good morning to your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse, you have an addiction. And like all addiction, in time, it'll destroy relationships, it'll cost time, and it'll cost money, and it'll make your life worse.
These solutions are from my own experiences using technology and social media. Have an allocated time for when you would use social media. Keep yourself engaged in some meaningful work. Structure your consumption of internet around your goals, objectives, and work, like the skills you need to learn, the knowledge you need to gain, the connections you need to make with people with similar career goals or hobbies like you. Hey, thanks for watching the video till the end. I really appreciate it. It takes a lot of effort to make these videos. So thanks once again. If you got some value from the video, give it a like so the algorithm shows it to more people. I know it's kind of hypocritical of me to say that, but this is how the system works. I have more amazing videos planned for the future, which will be of immense value for you. So if you like videos of this kind of style and editing and subjects, and share it with your friends with similar interests. Have a nice day ahead. We will meet next time. Bye.